Okay, a lot's happened in volume 5, so it was another really great volume for me. And I will say though, the next 2 volumes after this I didn't love. So even though I've been like really super positive up until now, just bear that in mind. Not everything will be amazingly positive, but just know I still absolutely love the series. But volume 5 was still very, very good. So just a little rundown of things that happened in volume 5. We start off with like Yor trying to get better at cooking. And again, like one of the things that I kind of like is the recurring element that Yor's cooking isn't good. Because I relate to that so much. And like, I do like Yuri. He is a little bit weird, but the way that, oh my god, that looks disgusting. Like, look at this. This is what Yor makes, right? And then when Yuri has it, he's like, it's fantastic, even though he's like throwing up everywhere. I'm like, you know what? He is the most supportive brother. I've got to give him that. As much as he doesn't like Lloyd, as much as he's probably going to be the downfall, well, probably not the downfall, but there's going to be some kind of head-to-head there, I imagine, with him being with the SSS. There's going to be a confrontation at some point, right? Like, we're going to head in that direction. I'm very excited for when that does happen. But I love how supportive he is of his sister and how much he loves and adores her. One of his best qualities, and he can be so funny. Even though I do find his thought process quite repetitive at this point now. Like, his distaste for Lloyd is getting a little bit repetitive, which, you know, does happen with some characters. Like another character we meet in this volume called Nightfall, she started to get like really repetitive also by volume 6. But I digress. I loved that Yor was really, really trying. She was coming home with cuts and bruises all over her hands and stuff, and Lloyd was like, what's going on? But she's actually been taking cooking lessons from somebody at work. I keep forgetting her name, but she's the mean one, the one who always treats Yor quite horribly. She's very judgmental. Camilla. That's it, Camilla. At least Camilla's husband is very nice to Yor and helps her. And then Yor finally gets a dish, right? Like, this honestly doesn't sound that exciting, right? But because by volume 5 you're so invested in the characters, you love them so, so much. Little wins like this, Yor getting better at cooking, love it. Like, it doesn't have to be exciting all the time. Like, I know Spy Family, you kind of expect espionage all the time, but sometimes it's really nice to actually settle down with the family part of this. It's actually probably my favourite part of the story, or the family side of it. But look how happy she is, and like, oh, you just feel proud for her. And they're eating it and they're like, I like it a lot. There's something very comforting about it. It's good. Yum, yum. Oh my god, it's just, oh, I was so happy for her. Seeing them smile like that, I never imagined it would make me feel this happy. Like, she's in it. She's in it for the long haul. Oh gosh, I really do hope Yor and Lloyd realize how much they love one another. Like, oh my god, like, that would just be perfect. I love them. I mean, as much as I want Lloyd for myself, I'm absolutely happy with this kind of charade becoming real. But you know, everything else about it is real. I feel like the feelings that they're getting, the feelings that they have within this family, being happy and making the others happy, it feels real, and it is real. It's just the facade of it is like obviously a sham. Oh, but then Yor does have a dessert, which does knock them out. Anyway, I love the new family portrait of the family. Oh my gosh, that's what the light novel is called. Family portrait. Is this set in between chapters? Like, is this okay to read yet, or are there spoilers for what's coming? Like, whereabouts in the story is it okay to read this? Or is it like completely standalone and it doesn't spoil anything? I'll find out one day. So yeah, they get the family portrait, and I am loving Becky more and more with each volume. I love how much she like falls in love with Anya's dad. She's like, who was this totally dreamy guy? Is this seriously your dad, Anya? And she is obsessed. And honestly, I can relate. They have an art project where they have to make an animal, and Becky makes Anya's dad. And you know, the elegance guy, he says, the elegance of your execution is not in question, but you were told the theme is animals, start over. And then look at Becky's face. Master Henderson, human beings are animals. Oh my god. Gasp! She speaks truth. This Master Henderson is like one of my favourite side characters. Absolutely 100%. And I would not have expected it when we first met him in volume 1. I mean, yeah, I really did end up enjoying him by the end of it, and he stood up for the family by punching that guy, but I just didn't dream that we would ever get to this point where he would actually be one of the funniest side characters of Spy Family. And you know what? There are so many people competing for this role, so I think that's huge praise. Another really important storyline is Damien and his dad, because the dad is Lloyd's target. But it's actually so sad to see how much Damien really wants his father to notice him. And I really do like Damien. I think he's pretty good. Like, obviously him and Anya don't get on, but I find that rather hilarious more than annoying or anything. And Anya really like does stand up for herself. Like, she doesn't really take anything too critically. You know, like she just goes with things. Like when he says about Bond, do you always name your garbage? And she says Operation Dog has failed. You know, like she takes it on the chin. She is such a good sport. She is like the best daughter that Lloyd could have ever picked out. But I do love how Anya is offering to help Damien, and he goes off on her because she doesn't make it all that well. And you can kind of see why he did, because he says, thanks to her, there's no salvage in it now, and I was planning to show it to father too. You can see like how desperate he is just to get his dad's attention. It's so sad. Although his Griffin and Anya's thing together wins first prize, which Damien gets. Like, Damien gets the first prize, which is awesome for him, but like, really, that got first prize? They described your Griffin as standing proud despite plucked wings. Instead, it served as a powerful vision of our nation as it rebounds from the war. They said they struggled to hold back tears at the symbolism of the cruelly slaughtered baby Griffin you placed beside it. Like, what? Okay. But that absurdity is my kind of humour. And I love when Damien throws back Anya's heh face as well. Like, I wish I could do it. Like, I don't think I could do it. Oh, I forgot about this actually. It has been a few days since I read this, and I've read so much in between. There is a event called Eclipsing, where one day a month the moon goes bye-bye, so does my ability to read minds. And it happens to be at the time of the test, so Anya won't really be able to cheat. I liked how Yori was becoming Anya's teacher during this time, because she says she's going to work very hard, and he's like, what a fine child, how could she be so virtuous and pure? However, she is trying to take you from me, so he is like still a little bit overwhelming. And I find it so sad that Anya like can't really take too much to the learning and stuff. I can imagine it's really hard to try and learn when you're constantly reading minds, and it's just, yeah, as a child, it's just so much. Which ends up leading to Lloyd breaking into the school, ends up coming across another spy who's trying to change Damien's answers to get him expelled. And oh my god, like that was a whole twist in itself. Well, actually, one, like Anya didn't fail any tests, which is great. But the person who hired the spy to change Damien's scores is the kid who looks like he belongs in the Addams family. Because Damien's family screwed his family over, like him. And Anya finds out by reading his mind. George Glooman. And you would think that when it all comes out that the other kids would just shun him and stuff. But oh my god, like the sweetest things started happening. I was like, wait, hang on. This is way too pure. Like, would this actually happen in real life? I don't know. But according to George, he is going to have to be like kicked out of school because his family just can't afford it. And like he cries and he talks about all these things. How he'll cherish the trash that he's picking up because he'll not be able to stay there, and all of this is like his last stuff. And then he starts like asking for things, and like people give him it out of the goodness of their heart, and then they all sing together as well. I was like, I can't wait to see this in the anime, because I'm just like, how is this going to be portrayed? Like, it's so overwhelming. Is this going to turn into a musical? Everyone, thank you. I will treasure this memory forever. I really did feel so bad for George. Look at everyone giving him stuff. Anya gives him a leaf that she found on the road. You can have my watch. Take this as my favourite book. Sent my favourite stationery. Like, even Damien is giving him stuff. And, like, everyone is just, like, in harmony. Everyone's being so lovely and nice. And, oh, my God, it was so beautiful. It was so beautiful. And then, yeah, saying goodbye, farewell. And he's, like, leaving. And it's, like, so epic and grand. And then it turns out that he isn't actually leaving the school. The family can afford it. So he goes back the next day, and like everyone's like, wait, hang on. I felt so bad for George. I mean, it's great that he can stay, but I can imagine how embarrassing that was for him. So lots of stuff to do with the school in this volume, which I didn't mind too much. And then the majority of like the end of this volume is Anya going to where Lloyd works at the hospital to kind of shadow him and stuff. I love how she initially does it. Like, I'm trying to understand this. I think it's like a joke kind of thing. But when Lloyd comes through and he says hello, and Anya says, Papa. So yada yada yada. Very well then. I feel like it's because we've already been told that she needs to go to her parents' place to shadow them for their profession. So obviously we don't need to know that again. So the mangaka's like, Anya says yada yada yada, and Lloyd just fully understands because we're not repeating what we've just been told. Especially since Anya was going to shadow Yor, but then she hears in Yor's mind about like the whole assassin stuff, and it's just like obviously not a good idea. But oh my god, when Lloyd, when he puts on his work uniform and stuff, I'm like, stop it. So that was like really fun. I love seeing Anya at her dad's work, but I love when she comes back and Yor brings up the, did you see Lloyd performing his incredible concussive therapy, like from the first volume, when Lloyd made up the excuse of like hitting all those people because it was concussive therapy? And Anya's like, his what? And Lloyd says, now Yor, that's only for extreme circumstances. But then that also comes back up as well because when Anya is giving her report, she says, I hear that sometimes he even punches and kicks his patients. And Elegance guy. Oh my god, I love his face. I love his reaction so, so much. Oh, and then the final chapter of this, and you know, I think one of the reasons why I didn't fully love the next volume as well, which again I'll not go into because I don't want to spoil any future volumes, but we are introduced to Nightfall, and she is somebody who works with Lloyd as a spy, and she seems like a pretty good spy, and I kind of find her fascinating, but she is in love with Lloyd, and she wants to take Yo's position as the mother of the household, which is part of the spy stuff, but she also just like wants Lloyd. Like she loves Lloyd, she always has, and she sees Yo as an obstacle. So we do get like a lot of stuff which was really endearing and funny at first, but does get like slightly repetitive by the end of it, as Nightfall sees Yo and Lloyd looking at one another, looking quite natural, and doing a really good job in this mission, I might add. So back off, bitch. So I don't really love her storyline. So as much as I did really enjoy this volume, I think the end of this chapter kind of indicated that the current arc, the current storyline that we're pursuing wasn't going to be one of my favorites. And I was proven pretty much right when reading the next volume.